How's it going? Coach here, and what you're seeing on screen right now is the game replay footage of a really good Grandmaster's Punisher player. So good, in fact, that he is either Shroud or a hacker in one of my games. Now, for those of you who don't know who Shroud is, he's a former professional Valorant and CSGO player who streams. If you've never heard of him, you've probably seen at least one of his clips where he just 1v5 aces people in Counter-Strike. He's honestly really good, and he's a household name to anyone who plays video games all day, like me. Now, earlier this week, I ran into a hacker in one of my games, and you may be skeptical, you may think I don't know what I'm talking about, but just hear me out. So, the game in question was the game that was going to get me to Grandmaster if I won. I was 4 points away, and even though the game was long and hard fought, ultimately, we lost. Don't worry though, I got Grandmasters later that day, but after being on the fence about whether or not the player in my game was a hacker, after watching the replay, I was convinced. So, let's see what you think. Do you think the footage playing on screen right now is Shroud's gameplay or gameplay of a hacker? Before we do a breakdown between the two, I want you to leave your guesses in the comments, because I think it'll be a good exercise to see just how hard it can be to tell sometimes, even with kill cams, even with replays. And then later, after comparing them both, I'll show proof. I'll show the clip that convinced me that the person you are seeing on screen right now is, in fact, the cheater in my game. Okay, there it is. These people can exist in your games too. It is very possible that there are hackers in not just Grandmaster rank, but all ranks. So this is going to be really eye-opening to some people. And yeah, let's go. All right, we're going to take a look at the cheater first, and then we're going to look at Shroud and compare the two's gameplay. Keep in mind when you're watching this, just because he misses and dies a lot does not mean he's not using cheats. In fact, it almost kind of enables him to play in a way that most people would consider risky or even bad. So, whereas a normal player might not be pushed up constantly, because this guy is using cheats, he has a level of confidence that most other people wouldn't have. But you could also say that using cheats and causing him to get a higher rank than he probably deserves means that he's in a bad position a lot of the time. And that's also something to consider. Now, when we watch this clip, we're going to start with I think it's a octa-kill by the Punisher. So he gets 8. And then I think with Shroud, he gets 6 in a row. So pretty similar. They both go on big kill streaks. And you're going to notice the difference between the two here, okay? And I'll call out the cheats when I see them. It's not going to be super obvious for this first one, but as we go along, you'll start to realize. So here we go. Okay, so we're pushing the point here. Just hitting an ungodly number of headshots. Pretty much no misses there. That's me right there, on me, as he's jumping. Which, pretty much constantly jumping here. Just shooting into the wall, where I would be... hitting just dink after dink, and then immediately... Okay, that's the first one. Notice how he immediately locks on to the rocket. Almost... he was in his backfield, and he probably did see him, but just how quickly he does it. So right after he kills the Groot... Watch this. Immediately locks right onto the rocket. Let's watch it one more time in slow-mo. Oh, there's another one there. I just saw. He was shooting at the Psylocke through the wall. Look at this. Let's go through it one more time here. Kills the Psylocke. Boom. The Twitch. Hitting where the Groot is behind the wall. Just shooting into the wall. Until he decides to stop shooting at it and reload. Okay, so... What kind of player, knowing a Groot is here, right, aims at the... I guess it was a Mantis popping out. It just doesn't make sense. It's inhuman. You knew a Groot was right here. You knew he didn't go this way. You knew at worst he could be like over here. But you knew he was behind this wall. Yet he locks onto the Mantis who is barely peeking out, who you pretty much can't even see if you didn't have this, right? Then he starts popping the Groot, just dinks. And I'm not saying the dinks aren't impossible, but what really is telling to me is how he just follows him during that, all the Groot moving back and forth perfectly, still landing headshots, and then look at this. Whoop! Right to the rocket. Bing, bang, boom, dead. So let's keep watching here. Okay, so here's another one. The Psylocke is behind a bush, and again, it's not impossible to see her here, but it would be very difficult for a normal player to see and then also land your shots on someone who's barely popping out, because they don't see the health bar. You got to remember that until you do damage. So look at after the kill here. Immediately, just right to the person behind the bush. And here's the most obvious tell right here. So he knows Psylocke's behind here. And look what he does. Did y'all catch that? Let's watch it again. Instead of it shooting where he knows she's going to be, he shoots at the structure she's hiding behind. Which makes no sense to do that. If you're going to waste your bullets, just shoot where you think she's going to run, and hopefully she runs into it. So obviously he auto-locked onto her and then just pressed shoot thinking he was going to get her, but oh, she's behind this. So watch it one more time in slow-mo. And okay, then he corrects it, right? Okay, so that's the first clip. Is that proof? Maybe, maybe not. I'd say not. I'd say it's pretty good evidence. So the first clip of Shroud we're going to look at here is from his stream. He's on defense, and I was right. He gets 6 here. He does use his ultimate here, but the main thing to keep in mind, since Punisher can kind of see through walls a little bit, look at when he swaps targets to someone. He doesn't always just straight go for their head. A lot of times when he'll switch or flick to someone, he'll be aiming at their feet because he knows they're to the side of them, but then they jumped and there's no way he could know that they're in the air. So then he'll hit their feet and then recorrect and go for headshots, right? He does target select here. He does not always hit what's right in front of him like the other guy. But to me, this feels a little bit more believable. He's still very good and lands a lot of his shots and gets a lot of dinks. But you can see in the transition between swapping targets, he's not as accurate. So let's watch this. They're making a final push on offense. Shroud's team and him are defending. So even just there, he missed a couple shots, right? Right here. See how he goes to his feet there? And again, right there.
That's so good.
And there it is.
All right, we're back. Okay, we could.
So a quick clip, but kind of just showing you with the target swaps how it's not as clean, not as precise, but still just as accurate when it comes to actually shooting, because they're all right out in the open, ducks in a row sort of thing. Also, keep in mind, with Shroud, he's playing with his friends. He not only has a Magneto shielding him off cooldown, he has the Rocket team-up ability, although you didn't see it in this clip, really, which gives him basically just infinite ammo, and he has a healer. Actually, it's his wife. His wife is pocket healing him, so he has a lot of support, and we're going to look at the scores at the end and kind of compare them, but he has a whole team basically enabling him to carry and do this, right? So hopefully you saw maybe a little differences there, maybe not too much, but I think the next clip here is going to be a bit more eye-opening. All right, we got our next clip here with the cheater. This one is slightly more convincing, I would say. Actually, I'm going to show you one before this one. I'm going to show you 2 here. And leave your comments below on your opinion of him shooting basically through the wall that is rebuilds itself, where you can't really see through it, but he lines up his shots perfectly. You'll see what I mean in a second here. So it's at about 7 minutes. Okay, so right here. This wall is rebuilding itself like the maps do. It's very, very hard to see through them. It's only just, it's almost like opaque, but it's very, very difficult, right? And look at how he lines up his shots. Didn't miss a single one. You can take that as it will. I saw that when I was going through the clips. Now let's get to the main clip. Notice how he's just completely missing, and then all of a sudden he just figures it out. Like, he seems totally lost, and then he just immediately starts landing all his shots. Lost. Up. Just lands them all. That was insane right there. Just triple headshot, lock on from that far away. Just look at this. Okay, so their Punisher pops ult.
This is real firepower.
Nothing too crazy yet. The fact that he was able to pick off the rocket off his shoulder, though, is pretty insane. Let's watch that one more time. That was easily the most obvious one there, in my opinion. Shooting at exactly where he is behind the wall when the wall breaks. Headshot, headshot, headshot. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Coming around the corner, already lined up. Dink, 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 dink. 6 headshots in a row. Immediately kills the guy who ults. Goes behind the wall there. Let's watch a little bit more here. And there I am. Poor me, right? Has to jump away immediately. Notice he doesn't really use his abilities too much. He kind of just shoots because that's all he really needs to do. Alright, now back to Shroud. I think for this one, we're just going to watch a little bit of Shroud going on offense, and we'll just see how he does. We'll kind of do this play-by-play. I don't really have a specific clip planned. Just see how it differs, comparing the two. So notice immediately, he uses his abilities.
Oh, that's good. That's gonna suck a lot.
Actually, I do want to pause there. These players are more or less in the same rank. They're within 2 divisions of each other, small divisions. And Shroud just immediately using abilities, a lot more high IQ, I guess, way of playing his character. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the guy's immediately cheating who doesn't play like this, but it just kind of goes to show you what is required of him as a player, right? So let's keep watching. Okay, so Shroud actually using his turret. I never see the other guy use this. In fact, I don't know if he does use it even once. But this is probably the 3rd or 4th time Shroud has used it. I have watched the full game. So notice Shroud's missing a lot of his early shots when he switches targets here. I think that's the key takeaway here. And he does shoot at a corridor where someone can walk,
I'm gonna try to go up with zip. I'm going up with
rather than where they are behind the wall. It's a big difference. Okay, so trying to use his grappling hook for height.
Mantis dead.
I'm up.
And then
Salak's one.
Punisher passive helping him there.
Well, if you need heals, I'm kind of just keeping Zach up.
Doesn't get the kill there. Could have easily gotten it if it was very good shooting there. Very good shooting there. But still less headshots than the other guy, right? The cheater. But
Okay, we want our
playing aggressively.
We have numbers.
Playing very aggressively. Which I think is how you should play this when you're winning, or when you have a lot of confidence.
I think it's just gonna be even, but let's see.
Okay, let's watch this sequence here.
Nope, dropping back down.
Good shots, good shots. Still missing those first couple shots, not landing nearly as many headshots, but still pretty accurate.
I think you hit a mine.
It's not your fault. It's just hard.
Now point blank, still just not even close on a target who's moving less when it comes to headshots. But still doing very good damage.
It's okay. I'm gonna wait for you. We can take it with ult. I flip
It's
ult.
getting rushed here. Got knocked up. That was actually pretty lucky.
All right, we're gonna go in with her ult.
Okay, looks like his team's setting up for a push here.
Get to me,
They're
help me.
gonna have ults.
Shooting through the wall to break it, it looks like. Yep. Okay, there it is. The rocket. Team up. Uh-oh. Ooh, grappling hooks out of that. Very nice.
Hey, double support ult. They're trolling.
Because the enemy team making mistakes here.
Yeah, ulting,
Just kind of spraying.
ulting.
Doesn't really know who to hit.
I'm ulting in front of your shroud so they can't shoot.
Comes the big ult.
Mantis dead. Cloak dead. No heals. No heals. No heals.
Oh, man, this is very satisfying to watch. Very satisfying.
Namor. Nice.
No headshots.
Everybody's good? Yep.
All right. So I'd have to agree. So I definitely think there are some similarities here. Both players playing up, playing aggressively, but I don't know. I'm curious to what you guys think. If the other, who do you think's better, Shroud or the person I say is a cheater? I definitely think the cheater is when it comes to actually landing his shots, which is crazy because Shroud is doing everything else better, which doesn't really make much sense. But Definitely less headshots. I don't have any way to really prove that. It's just kind of obvious. The main clip that jumps out to me from the last one with the cheater is the jumping Winter Soldier after the ult, just ding, 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 as he's dropping through the air. Just insane. We had a similar play here with Penny, who was just rushing at Shroud, and even though he landed pretty much all his shots, only a couple dinks, right? Because it's better to get the hits. But the big thing is when swapping targets, or when there's a lot of targets, there's a little confusion, not sure where to hit, there's a lot of clutter, and Shroud's not as accurate as a guy that was in my game. So now we're going to the clip that, without a doubt, proved to me that this guy is a cheater. So here we go. All right, so this is the clip. This is the clip that convinced me that this guy, FX Desi, is in fact a cheater. One part of the clip, the first part, not 100%, but if you compare it to him getting Wolverine ulted here to Wolverine ulted earlier, there's a difference, and I'll say what happens during the ult. But then when he pops his ultimate, the Punisher ultimate, he immediately twitches to basically a wall, to the cart. Nobody's there, no one's even close to him, but then you see that not one, but 2 walls behind where he's aiming, one of our players is. And he just auto-locks on because obviously this guy, when he pops his ultimate, is going to want to get a kill. This is late in the game. It's very intense. It's very close. We're putting up a really good fight. I even swapped to Magneto just so I can actually survive him just constantly headshotting me. So I think he gets a little desperate and starts using his cheats a little bit more. But first, look at the Wolverine ult on him and see what happens here. I'm going to play it once in regular speed, then again in slow motion. Look how he twitches out, constantly trying to retarget while he's getting stunned in the air, basically. It's right after the Groot ult. So here it comes. Did you see that? Did you catch it? Did you see how his character spazzed out twice during the ult, trying to lock onto a target? Looked very unnatural. Let's watch it again in 0.25 speed.
I'm good to go.
Whoop, whoop, whoop! Okay, 3 times actually. 3 times his character did a full 180 during the ultimate, trying to find a target to hit. Let's watch it one more time. Let's try to pause after each one. And by the way, this is not what it looks like when you get Wolverine ulted. Maybe I'll show it on screen, maybe I won't. But earlier this game, he does get Wolverine ulted, and it did not do this at all, because I guess he wasn't doing his lock-ons. But here we go. Look, watch this. Here it comes. Whoop! Who are you shooting at? I guess we do have a player over there, right? I guess we do, yeah. Whoop! Oh, did a 180 there. Okay. Wolverine pulled him back around, and whoop! Again, just shooting at, trying to turn around, and the Wolverine ult keeps pulling him back to where he's supposed to be facing. Insane. That's the first one. Here's the next one and the best one. And if you're not convinced by now, this will get you. Here we go. Here comes his ultimate.
Judge, jury, executioner.
Here we go. And whoop, whoop. Oh, who are you shooting at? Just shooting into walls now. So, didn't land a lot of shots, but sometimes the misses are more telling than the hits. So let's watch that again in slow motion. And if you saw it, then you already know. This one was really bad. Really bad. So, okay, he pops his ultimate. It's not going too good for him. It's not going too good. Well, he locked on there, which I guess we can look at that one. That one would actually look kind of fishy.
Better make this count.
Let's watch it here.
Judge, jury, executioner.
Here we go. And whoop! Even though he wasn't even on his screen. Here we go, here we go. Shooting into the wall, and whoop! Oh, oh, oh! Yeah, I'm not hitting anyone, starting to panic. Oh, where is the people over there? Now we go... Now we're gonna hit this wall. We're just gonna shoot into the wall because we don't see anybody. Yikes. Yikes. And then boom, the lock on. You see that little twitch at the end? Oh man, it's just so bad. Just shooting into the wall instead of just walking around the corner. And right. Yep. And boom, 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 headshot. As soon as he is able to see him, he locks onto him. Okay, so that's the clip. But the worst one, obviously, is when he's on the cart. Such a one last time. Here we go. I'll do it half speed this time. And whoop! Oh, who are you shooting at? And then he jumps because he's like, oh no, I'm not hitting the person. That's what we call auto lock on. This is him misusing it. But just remember that when you're using this these cheats, they aren't always on. It's I think for most people it's like a button you press, and when it's down, then you're auto locking on. So you can toggle it at will. So just because he's missing doesn't, and he's missing pretty bad when he's missing, doesn't mean he's not a cheater. It just means he doesn't have it on all the time, because when he's hitting, it's insane. He goes from incredibly bad to incredibly good. Let's watch one more clip of this guy, just in normal speed. And this is just, let's just see if it passes the eye test here. So this is towards the end of the game again, when we were getting really close to winning. And I think he was getting desperate, so I think he was using the toggle more. Just disgusting. Just disgusting, man. Only my head popping out behind that wall. And again, I'd swap to Magneto here. Let's go back a little bit more. So this is them pushing on offense. They need to get 3 points to win. We had done so well. So last clip here. Shooting into the wall right where Groot is yet again. Perfect headshots. Shooting behind the wall where the healer is, even though her head isn't popping out. Just insane accuracy on Rocket there. Does more damage to the Punisher with his ult up than he does as a Punisher without ult. Goes around the corner, immediately starts popping. So there you go. And just for fun, we'll watch one more Shroud clip, and then we'll go to the final scores of each game. We'll just pick a random clip, skip ahead. Okay, wait. Shroud did end up winning this game.
There was a lot happening.
So this is their final push. And again, just look at the differences.
Flicking your mouse around.
Actually crazy shooting right there, by the way.
Alright, 3 minutes to win one bridge fight.
Actually using abilities, what a concept. Misses the first couple shots.
They're taking a lot of damage.
We're good.
Getting a lot of support. Just kind of shooting wildly in there. Target lock-on isn't as precise in big groups, as we've said. Hitting Magneto's arm there. Popping the turret. Because it's actually good and ends up dying. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Okay. We got the Punisher ability up. Or the Punisher special ability.
One's coming up behind us.
The Psylocke had dove, but he was just kind of randomly shooting.
Thank you.
So this Star-Lord would be dead by now if it was our guy. Shooting at the ground there. Popping his ult. Doing a lot of jumping here.
Behind.
Which I said is something the cheater was doing a bit too much, but
I think we can win off this.
yeah, having trouble with the jumps, struggling with tracking with the jumps.
Cloak 1, 2.
On point.
Very good shooting though. And that's how they get the win. So Shroud obviously an insane player, very good, but not quite as good when it comes to accuracy.
And then I just take away the support also. That you have
So,
to see.
what do you guys think? Do we think that FX Desi is a cheater? Or is Coach just a salty whiner, a sore loser, just upset that FX Desi gate kept me out of Grandmaster? Well, let me know in the comments. This is obviously a huge problem if this is common for Marvel Rivals. I've had one of the top players, Boger, I think that's his name, said that in his lobbies, 60% of the players are cheaters. I've also seen other streamers and players complain about the same thing. Not sure if it's that bad. This is the first time I was skeptical or was unsure. I'm like, maybe this guy's cheating, maybe not. Has anyone experienced this in your games? Let me know, because this is obviously a huge issue. If this game wants to compete with the likes of Valorant, League of Legends, Riot has Vanguard, which is their anti-cheat system. I think Marvel Rivals is going to need to get something similar. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this was interesting, opened your eyes a little bit. Be on the lookout for this kind of stuff, because I'm sure it can happen in any rank. And best of luck if you do run into a cheater. Pick Magneto. That's my tip. And more videos to come. So if you enjoyed this, subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
I kill the support. Support then.
Nice.
That's got to be so f***ing crazy when you're shooting right there. Like, that's got to be hard to track. Right?
There was a lot. There was a lot happening. I'll be honest. There was a lot happening. You're just flicking your mouse around.